Hey, this is Crazy Keon hanging with the Hazes. Now, some of y'all might want to know, how do you get it in? You know what I'm talking about. Do the wild thing while you camping. Maybe you got the kids with you. Maybe you got a dog that sleeps in your bed. I don't know. Can it be done? Absolutely. And I'm going to show you how to do it today. Well, not show you, but I'm going to explain how to get it done right here on Hanging with the Hazes, Uncensored. Hang tight just for a second.
Welcome to Hanging with the Hazes Uncensored, only on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, because there's a whole lot of camping talking in here. Make sure that you are part of the show.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back, friends. I am Keon, Crazy Keon, they call me. I'm with Hanging in the Hazes, and this is our Uncensored show. And on today's episode, we're going to dive back into that topic that doesn't get talked about enough: intimacy while camping. So while I set this groove right here, I just want you to know that we are talking about humping, getting it in, the wild thing, in the great outdoors. Whether you're tucked into an RV or zipped up in a tent. Now, you might be wondering, can all of this intimacy really be done? The answer is a resounding yes. It can be done. However, with a little bit of planning, a lot of awareness, and some creative thinking. Now, that's the important part. This will be one of the best experiences that you will have getting close to your partner while camping. It can be fun, it can be freeing, and it can be surprisingly romantic. And we're going to talk about that on the show today. So we're going to be joined by other folks that'll be sharing their own PG-rated tips on how to keep the flame alive even when you're in tight quarters. Because as you know, these ain't the most roomiest things. Now, we're also going to talk about how to do this when kids are around. We are going to talk about discretion, boundaries, real life situations that you might want to think about before heading into the world of outdoor intimacy. That is what this show is about today, and we're going to make it hot. Now, we might also dip into the topic of voyeurism, because let's face it, it's out there, and what you need to do and know to stay respectful and safe. So what I'm going to ask you to do is grab your marshmallows, maybe not the chocolate just yet, and let's get into it. So one of the things you have to consider when you are talking about intimacy in a campground or outdoors is privacy and proximity to where other units are and other people are. Also understand that we are in tight quarters when here. So you have to be mindful of two things: noise, and then you also have to be mindful of motion. Now, the one thing that you have to think about is that when you are doing it, you are moving, okay? Especially if you doing it right. Now, these rigs are built on springs and bags and all type of other stuff. So when you think about it, no matter how solid you think your rig is or your setup is, the jacks can slip or sway even with the smallest movements. In other words, all I'm simply trying to say is your motion in the ocean might be rocking more than just your world. Your neighbors can see it and hear it too. So be respectful, stabilize your unit properly, keep things considerate in close quarters, and you'll be all right. Now, close these blinds. That's all you got to do. Please close your blinds. Believe it or not, your neighbors did not sign up for front row seats to Cirque du Soleil, There's Your Butt. I mean, if you're strutting around in the buff trying out yoga poses that scream Karma Sutra, do us all a favor. Close the blinds. I mean, we get it. You are comfortable, but let the rest of us stay comfortable too. I mean, when you think about it, like, this isn't an HBO free trial here, people. There's always one weirdo, however, peeking through the blinds, hoping to catch a live episode of Naked Neighbors Gone Wild. But let's be real, most of us don't want front row seats to your private escapades. Intimacy is great when it's, private. And I'm talking to 3 different cameras right now, so I see somebody over here dying laughing. I'm just telling it like it is. Do your neighbors a favor. Close the blinds. That's all you got to do. Respect their space, protect your own, and keep the Karma Sutra between you and your furniture. That's all we trying to say there. Now, a lot of people ask me, do we have to worry about soundproofing? Yeah, you might want to try doing that. Use white noise, fans, music, to mask sounds if you are concerned about being overheard within the campground. If your rig is a-rockin' and the whole campground can hear it, you're not just making memories, you're making complaints too. You want to keep that down to a minimum. Soundproof your RV the best you can, because the last thing anybody wants is their kids asking, "Mommy, why is that camper making dolphin noises?" You don't want to do that. Now, the other thing I need to let you know is that quiet hours, they don't magically pause for passionate chaos. Let's just face it. Respect your fellow campers. All right. That's all we're saying, especially the ones with kids, conservative parents, or just low tolerance, for moaning next to marshmallows. Keep it down, folks. This ain't Motel 6. That's all we trying to say. Now, this is one of those interesting things to get into. Size matters. I couldn't resist. Size matters. RVs have limited space. That's just what it is. That's how it's going to be. Ain't nothing you can do about that. So choose positions that work with the little limited space that you have. Keep in mind, RVs were never designed with Cirque du Soleil in mind. Okay, if you're of average adult size proportions, okay, I sincerely hope you are flexible, because you are about to discover positions that will make you look like a clumsy gymnast trapped in a coat closet, okay? Unless you're lucky enough to roll in a big Class A or a big fifth wheel Palace, okay? Your sexy time might be limited to 1 or 2 safe, semi-comfortable angles. It's just what it is. So plan ahead, know your limits, and remember, your RV might be a one-position pony, and that's okay. Safety first, then sexy. That's just the way you got to do it. When it comes to stabilization, one of the things that I need you to keep in mind is that you have to make sure that your jacks or stabilizers are properly set to avoid the rocking and the rolling. Before you launch into your sensual Cirque du Soleil routine, make sure your RV is actually on stable ground. Jacks only work as well as what they are sitting on. And if you're tilted like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, your sexy time might turn into a physics lesson, or worse yet, a horrible rodeo. Nobody wants to accidentally roll out of bed during mid-thrust, or have your whole rig sounded like it's haunted with squeaks, cracks, rhythmic knocking heard 3 campsites over. Nobody. So level up. That's all we say. And literally, your back and your neighbors will thank you later. Trust me. And, while we talking about it, let's just tell it like it is. Use fans and heat and ARC and make your RV comfortable. That's all I'm saying. Big people, little people, and every spicy snack in between. We all generate heat. It's just what it is. And in an RV, things don't just get hot in the sack. The whole damn space turns into a sweaty love sauna real fast, okay? So if you're planning to get busy in your tin can of passion, fire up a fan, crank on the AC, and thank the gods of ventilation, because you're going to need it. As a bonus, they double as a noise buffer. That way, your neighbors hear less moaning and more white noise. Everybody is in a win-win situation. Now, optimal timing is always a beautiful thing. Opt for times when people are less active in the campground. So we talking early morning, midday, while people are out hiking and doing stuff, or it's just simply late at night. So this brings me to what I call RV Love Rule 89. Timing is everything. So you've decided to hit the sack and, get it on in the boom boom room. First off, let me just start off. Excellent choice. But here's the deal. Timing matters. Don't go bumping uglies when the kids are riding bikes and grandma is making pancakes and stuff next door. Aim for the late night hours when people are asleep, passed out, drunk, or just minding their own damn business. Okay? That's what you want to aim for. That way you can be a lot less censored and a lot more adventurous. Think about taking things outside for a little nature-inspired action. That's cool. I don't know how else to say this, but to be myself and just say it. Just don't be bare-assed in plain sight. Like, we don't want some poor soul walking their dog stumbling upon your own wild kingdom. Like, let's just be upfront about that. Be smart, be sneaky, and remember, the best sex does not come with a side of public indecency charges. You want to avoid that as much as possible. So just avoid drawing attention to yourself during quiet hours. They often are enforced in most RV parks and campground, either by a manager, a member of security, or a ranger. So yeah, just try to do that. And yes, even when you're getting freaky, the quiet hours are in effect. Now, campgrounds have quiet hours for a reason. And again, that does include your late night hallelujah chorus. This ain't the time to howl at the moon, summons the heavens, or turn your RV into a pop-up adult theater. Moans, groans, and shouts of, "Oh Lord," should stay inside your rig, preferably muffled. Now, you can still have a hell of a time while keeping it low key. And that's kind of what we're trying to do. In fact, there is something extra special and extra sexy about having to be quiet, biting the pillows, biting your boob, biting your tongue, whatever works. Just keep the freak in the unit and not echoing through the forest. That's what we want to do. Keep it contained. Let it out. Just don't let the neighbors hear it.